Hey, it's Mick with More Prana Gardens. Today we're going to look at a seedling tray that has poor nutrition. It has poor nutrition on purpose, don't worry. Before we get into it though, I'd like to ask you to please hit that subscribe bar, ring the little notification bell if you want to know when I put up new videos, and it's okay if you wait till the end on this one, but if you could pick a thumb, that would really be helpful. Alrighty? Thanks. Let's move on. So this is a tray of soil blocks that I did as an experiment. I said, I wonder what will happen if we start these little bad boys in garden soil instead of the preferred potting soil. Well, what happens is they struggle. So you'll take a look at this. Is two calendulas. Now, I also left them in the sunlight in their hardening off process too early, and so they're sunburned and bleached. That part was not on purpose. That was actually an accident. But if you'll compare this to the calendula that I started in potting soil 2 weeks later, and I just watered it so it's got a little heavy head on it, but I mean, considerable difference, right? Potting soil minus 2 weeks of time as opposed to garden soil plus 2 weeks of time. And that's on the calendula. And then on the beets, now they're different varieties, but get that to focus for you. Ooh, focus please. Okay. So you can see this one's got a lot more growth. It's leggy because it had to stay under the lights a little longer, but it's already getting its second leaves. Whereas this one, none of those are even thinking about their second leaves. Alrighty, so the question then becomes, what do we do about this? Because we don't want to just scrap that tray. There's food in there. This is food right here. And over here, whoops, sorry, you can't see that. This is food, and this is medicine. We want these. So we can recondition this tray. Make sure y'all are focused here. Sorry. There we go. All right. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push my blocks together so that they can conserve their water all at one end. My nursery table here is a little bit off level, so it drains down towards the compost bin, which is kind of perfect. All right, so a couple of things that we can do. This in here is comfrey compost tea. It needs to be refreshed. I'm going to do that probably next week maybe. But I'm going to start watering with this every time that I water this tray. And I bottom water, so I'm pouring it down in the this tray, the solid one. And then it pools up. So we can do this without tipping it out. It pools up down there. Focus, please. There we go. Anyways, okay, so I tried to show you. The water pools up down there, and the plants drink from the bottom. Now the other thing I can do is this is some of my vermicompost from my worm bin when I cleaned it out. And I am going to be starting a second bin here really soon, y'all. I've gone through almost that whole thing, just of these few trays. So I'm going to add this right on top. I'm going to try not to bury my dill with it. And any seedlings that accidentally get covered, I'm just going to, y'all see that okay? I'm just going to uncover them a little. So I added a big dose of nutrients with the compost tea, and then a whole new set of nutrients with the worm castings. sorry, vermicompost. I always say it like it's castings, like they've broken it all the way down, but they haven't. And I just dropped those on top. Now, since this tray has already overstayed its welcome outside and already gotten sun rain, I'm going to leave it out for our storm that's coming. It's going to get rained on. Now, if we do end up getting hail, which is kind of in the prediction for later this week, we'll see. It's going to change, 95 times between now and then. But if that happens, I'll either stash it underneath this table or I'll put it on the patio under cover. But that's all you have to do to recondition a tray or some potted plants that aren't going great. If you don't want to totally repot them, start giving them a homemade liquid organic fertilizer. You can also use the rinse, not the rinse water, the overnight soak water if you were making a pot of beans from dry beans. And you can make a banana peel tea, and I'll have a video up about that soon too. Or you can use the comfrey compost tea or any kind of compost tea or your vermicompost. All of this kind of stuff is going to add nutrients. And what we should see is that in about another week, these start to catch up with those. Just that little boost should do it. All right, there's going to be a couple of videos up here for you to pick from. And remember, go ahead and pick that thumb. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and if you know anyone who could be helped by this, please go ahead and share this with them. All right? Later, y'all.